Never ever give up. Learn from Arsenal. And that is something I love for football and sports generally. There's always a lesson to learn. So this evening, pick that from Arsenal Football Club. Don't ever give up for any single reason. It is not allowed at this point in time. Giving up is not absolutely allowed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, in case you're doing it for the first time, this is Erie 96.1 FM. The voice behind them, I see, is the voice of Joshua Bello. And this is Sport Lounge, where I give you all the updates in the ever exciting, ever changing, and sometimes ever heartbreaking world of sports. And for the next 20 minutes, it is going to be a jolly good ride. But I had to do that one. I had to celebrate Arsenal fans and Arsenal Football Club. They have really tried this season. Don't forget, a couple of weeks ago, they were defeated by Man City twice in the space of just a couple of days. First in the FA Cup final, and in the Cup final actually, and a couple of days ago, a couple of days after, they were also defeated by Man City in the league. And people were saying the league is over for us now. But Man City, they stuttered against Everton a couple of weeks ago as well, where they had a draw against Everton Football Club. And that was how they gave Arsenal the title on a golden platter. And this time around, Arsenal have taken their chances. In their last two games, they have only won by a margin of 1 goal. But don't forget, that is the hallmarks of champions. You can win by 1 game, by 1 goal, but just after 3 points. And that is what they have done. And their hard work has finally paid off. They are now the champions of the English Premier League. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the show doesn't stop here this evening. I also have stories on the world of boxing, the world of tennis, and also the world of football. Don't forget, there is a game tonight in the UEFA Europa League final. Yes, it's going on tonight. Aston Villa up against Freiburg. And also the Super Eagles of Nigeria. There's update about them. The final 27-man squad for the 2026 Unity Cup has now been announced by the head coach, Eric Sekocheli. So, ladies and gentlemen, this and more sports stories is what you guys are listening to on the program this evening. We have no time to waste, so let's get straight into it. Now, let's go straight to the world of tennis. I have to pick myself up. Yes, it's about to have the times of our lives right here on the program. And now in the world of tennis, in the French Open. Don't forget, it starts this Sunday. And right now, the players, both in the men's singles and also in the women's singles, are now set to protest about the prize money that they're getting from the Grand Slam, the French Open. According to the players, they are being underpaid and are underappreciated for their efforts and contribution to the success of the French Open. And what they have not decided this time around is that they are going to scale back their media engagement ahead of the Grand Slam on Sunday. And this is a coordinated protest over the share of the tournament's prize money. And a collective of players has not specifically targeted the upcoming clay court event. And their claim is that their portion of revenue has now been reduced to 14.3%, a stark contrast to the 22% offered at other ATP and WTA tournaments respectively. And among those who have previously voiced strong concerns are top-ranked Aryna Sabalenka and world number 4 Coco Gauff, who earlier this month threatened a boycott of the Grand Slams if competition levels did not improve. And what can I tell you is that authoritatively, according to French magazine L'Equipe, many participants in the Roland Garros are now set to just have 15 minutes with reporters. This is an effort to frustrate and also to compel the organizers of the French Open to increase the prize money and the prize pool for the French Open. Now, don't forget, a couple of weeks ago, Aryna Sabalenka and also other players like world number 1 Jannik Sinner were among a group of leading players who were mainly from the top 10, who issued a statement earlier in May stating that they are deeply concerned and disappointed that the French Open's prize money is still very much reduced to just 14.3%, and they want it increased. But this time around, the French Open is not budging just yet, but maybe this action from them can prompt them to do the needful and increase the prize money of these players. Or what do you think? Do you think these players are pulling too much? Are they demanding for too much? Don't forget, without these players, the French Open will not be what it is. But also the French Open, the Roland Garros, also has its own ST. So what I believe is that the two can't work without each other. But I'm sure at the end of the day, they will come to a compromise. But maybe not this year's tournament, maybe next year, things can improve for the players. And now leaving the world of boxing, the world of tennis. Let's go straight to the football. I have no time to waste this evening. But before I go to the world of football, there's a breaking news from the world of basketball. Let's go there briefly, where it's now been confirmed that yes, two teams in the NBA are now set to play their matches away from the US. Yes, I'm sure you're surprised. Well, don't be shocked, but according to report this evening, the San Antonio Spurs and New Orleans Pelicans will now play the regular season games in France and England in 2027. Yes, you heard it right here for the first time. They are playing their games, regular season games, in France and England in 2027. That is next year. The Southwest Division 4s will clash in Paris on January 14 and Manchester on January 17. The NBA, National Basketball Association, announced today the contest will be the league's 16th in France and 6th in Paris since 1991, and its 20th in England and 2nd in Manchester since 1993. And the return to Paris, France, also marks the first time the Frenchman, Victor Wembanyama, the San Antonio Spurs player, will play in his home nation with his NBA team. So that's a good one. The NBA continuing tradition of always trying to play some games outside of the country, America. So it's not something unusual. It has been happening over the course of time, and it will continue for the foreseeable future. So there you have it. That is the update from the NBA and the world of basketball. Now let's go straight to the world of football. We have no time to waste. Our time is fast spent. The time is flying this evening. And now in the world of football, the drama continues to go on between Southampton and the Football Association right there in England. Now, don't forget, we got information a couple of hours ago that Southampton have been bundled out of the final of this year's championship playoffs because they were found guilty of being involved in a plot to spy on their opponents. Yes, don't forget, Middlesbrough and Southampton played the semi-final game in this year's playoffs, and there was a video that circulated after that game where someone from Southampton, Wilson Salt, was seen at the training camp. The training ground are actually outside there, a few blocks away from the training ground, and he was seen with a phone recording, and he has been found guilty of spying on them, and they have now been bundled out of this year's playoffs, which means that Middlesbrough FC have now been reinstated into the final, and they will now face up against Hull City. And right now, what I can tell you is that Southampton have now decided to protest. Yes, you heard me right. After being found guilty, Southampton have protested and they are now saying they're going to appeal that decision. They believe they should be in the final. So the drama is not yet over. And to make the matter even more interesting, Hull City, their opponents in the final, are now also saying that they believe that they should be crowned champions automatically because Southampton have been bundled out. So it's interesting times right there in England in the championship. The last ticket for this year's slot in the Premier League is at stake. And it's drama everywhere you look at. Hull City pulling their drama. We also have Southampton as well as Middlesbrough, all entangled in a three-way fight, I call it, for the slots to the Premier League. So let's see how it goes. Will Southampton get their wish and will the decision be overturned? Well, time will tell, but this case is not over yet. It is far from it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go on a quick commercial break. When I come back, we are heading straight to Nigeria. Yes, we're going back home to Nigeria, and I'll give you the official 27-man squad for this year's 2026 Unity Cup that is set to go down over there in London. Eric Sekocheli has announced the list, and the 27-man squad has been announced. I have their names right here on the program, so don't touch that down. There are some surprises there. What I can tell you is that there are a lot of Nigerian players, home-based players in this year's squad, and they look set to be given chances to prove their mettle and show what they're made of this year at the Unity Cup. I'll be right back. Don't forget as well, when we come back, I'll be giving you the details of the ECS final in the UEFA Europa League. One man is on the cusp of further history. His name is Unai Emery. Good evening. I'll be right back.
We can sing, we can dance. I don't want it.
All right, Erie 96.1 FM. We have the king. Oh, Shay.
May 27 ọdọọdún lọ́jọ́ ìbí bàbá ṣe bí ọba máa ń bọ̀ sí. Lord Mayor, His Eminence Apostle Dr. S.M.O. Mustapha J.P. bàbá ṣe bí ọba. Ọmọ wọn ní Sànú Ìyẹ́yẹ. Ọmọ Adókògùn. Ìsànú ọbẹ̀rù rí tó bá di kájagun lójú ogun. Òkìkí ayẹyẹ ọjọ́ ìbí bàbá ṣe bí ọba ti ń kàn káàkiri àgbáyé. Olórí ìlú tó bá ti joyè. Sọ ìmọ̀ wọn lóko ọ̀tọ̀kùlú jàǹkànjàǹkàn ló máa ń wá lọ́dọọdún o. Ṣé bí ọba headquarters tó wà ń gbárẹ́mú Ìdíòbí airport area Alákẹ́ Ìbàdàn tó máa gbọ́ bítíbitì èrò lálejò. Lọ́jọ́ Wednesday, May 27 ọdún yìí. Aago mẹ́sàn-án àárọ̀ ni gbogbo ètò ó ti bẹ̀rẹ̀. Ìwọ náà máa bọ̀ wá fọjọ́ bí wòlíì béèrè nǹkan tó ń wojú Olúwa fún. Kájọ máa ṣe bí ọba. Ó máa ní testimony tó o bá wá lórúkọ Jésù gbà bẹ́ẹ̀.
Mo ti ń ráláṣọ nílẹ̀ yìí Layọ̀tí textile store ṣàrà ọ̀tọ̀ mo mójú mi dénú ọjà alẹ́sìn lọ́yẹ̀ ń bàdàn mo kájé kú kalẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ bá dé Layọ̀tí textile store àwọn aṣọ tó jójúlówó tí kì í ṣe gbàrọ̀ gudu tí wọ́n ń kó wá látòkè òkun ọlọ́kan ọ̀jọ̀kan àwọn aṣọ gidi tó wuyì tó bójú rí tó dùn wọ̀ lò bí àríyá láwọn aṣọ bíi voile lace cotton lace guinea brocade Ghana wax wooden Swiss voile dry lace Ankara London wax Nigerian wax àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Ilé-iṣẹ́ Layọ̀tí textile store wà ní AW 24, 25, 27 and 28 Fire Road Alẹ́ṣinlọ́yẹ̀ Market Ìbàdàn. Fún àlàyé àbẹ́yìn fẹ́ raṣọ yín níbikíbi káàkiri àgbáńlá ayé ẹ pè Layọ̀tí textile store sórí nọ́mbà yìí 08062202366 lórí email layotitextile@yahoo.com. Layọ̀tí textile store níbẹ̀ lẹ́tí lè ráwọn aṣọ tó jójúlówó débẹ̀ confirm.
It is good to take your business to the next level. Iṣẹ́ àlọ́sókè tó bá bá wa sọ̀rọ̀. Succeed as Supreme Concept Limited. Ilé iṣẹ́ alùpùpù tó mọ̀ nípa ẹni wá. Ìbàdàn làwa o.
Succeeder Supreme Concept Limited iléeṣẹ́ alukoro tí kìí jánikulẹ̀ à ń ṣe transport services báni pèsè irúfẹ́ mọ́tò yòówù tẹ́ nílò lọ́jọ́kọjọ́ nígbàkigbà à ń báni tún ilé àtọ́fíìsì ṣe cleaning services bí ẹ fẹ́ ra lẹ̀ talẹ̀ ra lé talẹ̀ iṣẹ́ wa ni àwa ètò property a tún ta fóònù lóríṣiríṣi àwa ni event planner tó kájú ẹ̀ fún gbogbo ayẹyẹ tẹ́ ẹ bá fẹ́ ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ la tún báni polówó ọjà lórí rédíò tẹlifíṣàn tàbí newspaper a tún ṣe branding mọ́tò cup t-shirt face cap àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ la ń báni polówó ọjà lójú billboard signage ẹ kàn sọ́fíìsì wa tó wà ní moro fọlá abẹ́gbẹ́ shopping complex opposite Alakia Vayed bridge airport area Ìbàdàn telephone 081-2828-4747 tàbí 091-5111-5000. Succeeder Supreme Concept Limited will take your business to the next level at a cheaper rate.
Point one.
Waiting they happen, waiting they
Yes, sports fans in the Barrio State, Nigeria, and the rest of the world. Welcome back for that commercial break. You are still listening live to Sport Lounge on Erie 96.1 FM. Yes, you know, once you get to listen to that instrumental or that music from Ostino Milado titled Super Eagles Carry Go, it is now time to discuss the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And Eric Sekocheli has now released the 27-man squad that will now be competing at this year's Unity Cup 2026 right there in London in Britain. When it comes to this year's Unity Cup, it is set to kick off from May 26 to May 30 at the Valley right there in London. And the Invitational Tournament to feature 4 nations, with Nigeria competing against India, Jamaica, and Zimbabwe. So these 4 nations are competing on this year's Unity Cup. And for Nigeria's 27-man roster for the Unity Cup, for goalkeepers, we have 4 goalkeepers here. Oh, 3 actually. We have Francis Uzon of Omonia Nicosia FC, Otto Okonkwo of Wrexham FC, and last but not least is a Nigerian goalkeeper based in Nigeria, Michael Atata of Ikorodu City. For defenders, we have Bruno Oyemechi of Olympiacos, Emmanuel Fernandez of Rangers, Chibweke Nwanwu of Trabzonspor, Igor Ogbu of Slavia Prague, and also Obinna Igboke of Enugu Rangers. We also have Elias Ochobi of Rivers United, Chibweze Oputa of Enugu Rangers. These are all the defenders. Now to the midfield, we have the midfielders: Wilfred Ndidi, the captain from Besiktas, Rafael Lelika from Club Brugge, Tochukwu Nadi, who plays for Marseille, Ebenezer Akinsomiro of Pisa in Italy, Alassane Yusuf of New England Revolution. We also have Aderemi Adeoye of Ikorodu City. We also have Samson Tijani of Dukla Prague, Ayobami Jr. of our very own Shooting Stars, the Oluyole Warriors. After a long while, finding out a player in the Super Eagles setup, his name once again is Ayobami Jr. I'm sure if you're a supporter of Shooting Stars, you know him very well.
Now let us rewind to 1980 when the Super Eagles really started.
Someone they talk for us right now, say Insabi. Yes, Insabi player, and he's going to the Unity Cup this year. Hopefully, he can get a chance to show off what he's got. And finally, in midfield, we have Tosin Oyedekun of Ikorodu City. And for the 4 players, we have Moses Simon, Paris FC, Akko Adam, Sevilla, Philip Otele of Hamburger SV, Owen Oseni of Plymouth Argyle. We also have Zadok Abu Joanna of IAK, actually in Switzerland. We also have Terry Murphy of Porto, Rafiu Durosomi of Pisa in Italy, and also, last but not least, on the 4th player list, we have Femi Aziz, who plays for Millwall in the Championship. So these are all the 27-man players going to this year's Unity Cup. As you can see, we have a lot of new players who are new to the setup, who are going to this year's Unity Cup. The likes of Femi as this is new. We also have Owen Oseni, Tosin Oyedekun, Ayabami Jr. as well, and other players who are getting their first call-up. But will they get capped? That means will they get a chance to show what they've got? Well, time will tell. But at least it's some exposure for some Nigerian players who are also going. We also have Michael Atata of Ikorodu City. So it's a good one from the coach, giving the Nigerian-based players some chance to play in the Super Eagles setup. And hopefully they can get a chance and they can nail down their spot in the Super Eagles of Nigeria. All right, ladies and gentlemen, away from the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Before I call it to wrap on the program this evening, let's go swiftly to the Europa Conference League, or the Europa League actually. It's not a conference. This night, the final is going down in the UEFA Europa League. And it's no longer news, it's Aston Villa up against Freiburg. And the final kicks off tonight at 8 p.m. Nigerian time. Nobody saw Freiburg SC get into the final this year's Europa League final, but they are here against Aston Villa. And look at both teams. We have the experienced Unai Emery on one side. And on the other side, we have Freiburg coach Julian Schuster. And when it comes to Aston Villa's coach, Unai Emery is a man that knows how to win the Europa League. He has won it on 4 separate occasions. He won it 3 times with Sevilla in the year 2014, 2015, and also 2016. So he won it back to back to back. And also in 2021, he won it with Villarreal, defeating Manchester United in the final, and also with Arsenal. A few years ago, he took them to the final, but he was defeated by Chelsea in that final, and yet again, he is now in his 5th final as a coach. And as things stand right now, he has won it 4 times. And when it comes to history, he is the coach with the most titles in the Europa League, but he can further extend his title all and his trophy cabinets. Later tonight, we start Aston Villa, and if you look at it, Freiburg are the underdog, but don't be surprised, they can pull a shocker tonight, but everything looks in favor of Aston Villa. So what do you think? You can drop your comments on YouTube. We are live on YouTube this evening at Erie961fm.com Ibadan. Oh, not .com actually, that's on YouTube. Erie961fm Ibadan on YouTube. Drop your comments there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the end of the program this evening. Thank you so much for joining me this evening on the program. My name remains the same, Joshua Bello, but you can call me Sport